All right. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great. It's lovely to see you again today.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time. It's a privilege and honor to be speaking with you.
Of course, I'm delighted you asked me.
Great. So let's start with your background and the work you're doing today at The Atlantic.
So now my role isn't producing stories, it's making money so people can produce stories. So my job is to build a subscription model, sell advertisements, figure out how people are going to read in the future, figure out how we're going to make money in an age of AI. So that's my job.
So you touched upon the age of AI. So what's your take on this age? You've been around, like me, around many IT architectural changes. So
Yeah.
what's happening?
I mean, I think this is the most exciting and dramatic moment. And I think we're right at the cusp of real change taking place as these models become genuinely superior to us in many vectors of intelligence. For my business, it's both an incredible opportunity because it will allow us to write, report, tell stories in ways we've never told them before. It'll help us find information we haven't been able to find. It'll help us move much more quickly, but it also threatens the underpinning of our business. So we will have tools that will help us, and then there will be structural changes that will hurt us. And so our objective will be to figure out how to take the best advantage of the tools while evolving the product for this new world of information that we're moving into.
And what do you see as the role of media organizations like you ensuring responsible use of AI and maintaining public trust? Because there's a lot of talk about, hey, AI does this, AI does that, it's stealing content, it's not legit with some of the chat. So what do you see as your role as a media organization?
And one of the most important things is to, as you say, maintain trust and to make sure that when people read The Atlantic, they know that it's written by people, right? We say written by humans for humans. And so we have a very firm role that we will use AI to help figure out our social media strategy, right? And I'm using AI to prepare for a podcast interview, but we're not using AI to write, right? All the writing is done by people. And we also know that AI will be a great tool for fact checking, but it'll also be a great tool for misinformation and the creation of nonsense. And the internet is going to be flooded with nonsense. And so one of the important things is for us to maintain our trust and maintain our fact checking and maintain the sense that readers have that if you read something in The Atlantic, it is true. Maybe biases, you may disagree, you may think the argument is bad, but we have done our very best to make sure it is true and accurate as possible. And in a world where there's less and less true information circulating, or there's more and more false information, that role becomes ever more important. And so maintaining trust and maintaining a sense that we actually say things that are accurate, that's really important.
Got it. And as the CEO of a very major media organization, like where do you see opportunities for leaders like you? You talked about the company opportunity, but there's a moment where leaders can grow too.
Yeah, no, there's really important things that I consider part of my job. So there's specific debates within the media industry over copyright. And I am a firm believer that creators, people who made the content that the AI models trained on should be compensated. These companies went, they read all the content on the internet, they listened to all the songs, they built these models, they created tons of value. Some of that value should come back. So it's fair. I think it's true under copyright law. So there's that argument playing out, and people in my position have a responsibility, whether that means speaking out, whether it means joining lawsuits, whether it means working strategically. That is really important. There's a huge regulatory conversation, right? How do you regulate AI so that you get the most good with the fewest harms? How do you prepare society for the changes that are coming in AI? And I think that executives, media leaders, people with platforms have a responsibility in helping talk about that.
So as a former editor and now a CEO, what are you hearing are the opportunities for founders, both within the media industry, which you talked about, but outside?
I mean, if you were a young founder, the world is totally open. And so there's like an interesting question. If you're a founder, do you look at an existing business that is moving too slowly and try to kind of recreate it from the ground up using AI with a much smaller staff and the ability to scale? Or do you find a totally new idea? If you find a totally new idea, how do you find one with a moat, right? Because AI is so quick and can think so quickly, you need to really be able to build a moat. There are a lot of companies out there that are really just kind of putting very simple layers on top of foundation models, and that's not really going to give you much of a moat. So I like the idea of using AI to brainstorm specific ideas in industries where you know a lot, where you know there are specific problems, and then trying to solve them in ways that nobody has solved before. I think that's probably the best opportunity.
Great. So no, really, it's been a delight working with you on a board, and thank you for taking the time. Looking forward to doing many more great things together.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've loved serving on the board with you. This is great to chat. I'm so glad you asked these questions.